Everything on Earth is in continuous motion. Let's find out more about motion and its types. At the end of this module, you will be able to define motion, differentiate between motion and rest, and describe different types of motion. Motion is a change in position of an object with respect to time and its reference point. Observe that in the first picture, the car is to the right of the tree. In the second picture, after a few seconds, the car has moved and it is to the left of the tree. As the tree does not move, the car has moved from one point to another. Therefore, the tree is considered as the point of reference. The branch of physics which deals with the behavior of moving objects is known as mechanics. Motion and rest are comparative terms. For example, a passenger sitting in a moving train is at rest with respect to another passenger, whereas they are both in motion with respect to a person standing outside the train. A person is at rest if the distance between that person and the point of reference is constant. A person is in motion if the distance between that person and the point of reference is varying. Observe a butterfly in motion or dust particles illuminated by sunlight. The course of motion in both the cases does not follow a fixed pattern. This type of motion is called random motion. Translatory motion is another type of motion. Have you ever seen a skater on roller skates or a rolling ball in a bowling alley? When every point on the moving body moves through the same distance in the same direction and in the same interval of time, we call it translatory motion. Translatory motion is further classified into three types: rectilinear motion, curvilinear motion, and circular motion. Rectilinear motion is the translatory movement of an object in a straight line. A vehicle moving on a straight road, or drawer being pulled from a table are some examples of rectilinear motion. An object moving along a curved axis is in curvilinear motion. For example, a vehicle turning along a bend in a road is in curvilinear motion. The third type of translatory motion is circular motion. This occurs when a body moves around something and is not on its axis. Some of the examples include the moon moving around the earth and the earth moving around the sun. If you watch a spinning top or a merry-go-round closely, you will see that they move on an axis. Such objects that move on their axis are said to be in rotatory motion. Wheels of a moving vehicle and a potter's wheel are also examples of rotatory motion. Remember that rotatory motion occurs about an axis, while circular motion is movement around an object. If you closely observe a mobile phone when it is vibrating, you will notice that certain parts move to and fro. This is an example of vibratory motion. Another classic example of such a motion would be the strumming of the strings of a guitar. In fact, all musical instruments show vibratory motion. Children playing on a swing at the park move to and fro about a fixed position, also called mean position. This kind of motion, where an object moves to and fro about its mean position, is called oscillatory motion. The movement of a pendulum of a clock is another example of oscillatory motion. But what is the difference between vibratory and oscillatory motion? In vibratory motion, only certain parts of the object move, whereas in oscillatory motion, the entire object moves about its mean position. Also, in vibratory motion, the displacement is very small in comparison to an oscillatory motion. We have all at some point or the other seen a pendulum in action. Its to and fro motion is an example of periodic motion. Periodic motion is a kind of motion that repeats itself at regular intervals of time. A very good example is the revolution of Earth around the Sun. Consider the motion of a rolling ball. After a certain point, it comes to a standstill. This is non-periodic motion. As the name clearly suggests, the combination of two or more types of motion is known as multiple motion. We all know that Earth rotates along its axis and revolves around the Sun. That is, it simultaneously undergoes rotatory motion and circular motion, both being periodic. A vehicle moving straight on a road is in rectilinear motion, but its wheels are in rotatory motion. Similarly, rotatory motion and translatory motion can be seen in a drilling machine. Here is the sum up of what we just learned. With this, we have come to the end of this module.